Okay. Hello, salam alaikum. Blessing to everybody who's watching this. I just come back from printing my finger into the machine where I must go every beginning of the month to be registered in the system of occupation that is occupied, that is the government made law that I must work. So I went to that office. It takes maybe half an hour to go and come back. That's all it takes. And it is now like 3 years that or 2 years actually, since I started to go and print my finger. So this is the last connection between the system. And when I come back from this meeting with the machine, actually, today I had to meet with a clerk, with somebody who was telling me that I was registered. Okay, so he registered me manually, person in person. And every time I go to this signing with the system, it's an agreement that is forced on me, and I reject it altogether, all of it. The idea of work, the idea of occupation, the idea of connecting to a system that enforces this on me. And every time that I go to this meeting, which, as I said, it doesn't take more than a minute, that it's the most contradicting point in my life, in the life of the country, in the life of the system that is coming to meet me at this point, and I reject it altogether. And this episode that repeated itself again, it's an opportunity for me to take the bus and see the people in the streets in this little town that I am dwelling. And everybody are slaves to the system. I see people with their head really smashed into this little possibility. This is little life that is allowed here by the system. However, I'm looking at it from the immortal point of view. When I first realized that I'm immortal, this was 30 years ago, and now it's should be 30 years anniversary of relating and living in a system where people don't live their true inner being, the true reality. They live under the oppression, under the system. And it is for 30 years that I meet people who live in the stories and believe in their stories, and they cannot change the stories, and I cannot run away from the stories, and I don't know that they tell stories, and I don't know that they follow narratives. However, the perspective of the immortal, the infinite, immortal being that I am, the notion, the conscious being in me that evolved in 30 years. And during the 30 years, I was making a great effort to go around and interact from this level connect between these two levels. And I was coming from the point of the infinite immortal being, life. Um, that was my perception, that was my understanding, that this was my being, that it's engaged with the logic, with the narrow logic and the enforcement of systems that we have here. And for 20 years or so, I was traveling around the world, so I was not connected to any authority. I didn't report to any government besides passing through the border control. So my number was registered, but they didn't change my name. I changed my numbers, maybe, to the point that I'm completely illegal alien. And some people are making me nervous that I don't comply, that I don't follow the story, the narrative, the general narrative, and reject it altogether. That bothers them. So they see me as some kind of disturbance. I'm too provocative. And recently, I had two last opportunities were given to me to bow to the system just by representative of the system coming to me. These are people who would fight for their story to death. Not only they'll kill themselves with their short-term life concept and accepting the narrative, the general narrative about life, believing in the story to a point that you're ready to kill yourself and kill everybody for your story to be true. And then there was somebody coming to me with a story that is compiling his history, spiritual history and connectivity within a group. And the story is a book which I was offered to translate. So last night I heard the author telling me giving me a brief summary on the book that is lasting for hundreds of years. An epic story. Such epic stories I read before, where people find out their narratives through hundreds of years. Still, it's their narrative. It's not the true life. And in both cases, I had to revise those perspectives and reject them as agents of the system. I hope that I'm making sense in this story. Anyway, this is a story in a way too. I wanted to emphasize that I'm talking from a global perspective that is shared by those who have crossed this marker between life and death, between forever and the fear of existence, which is forever and the fear of existence should be the title of this video. So this is the first one. I may make one or two more to expand a little bit of this. And if I have something to say, if I felt that this was not clear enough. Yeah, so thank you for watching. This is your son Pedro. Nice to meet you.